हेलो स्टूडेंट्स, वेलकम टू दिस अनदर सेशन। आज अपन कर रहे हैं फिज़िक्स का नीट टेस्ट 53 जो एनटी अभ्यास ऐप पे आज आया है। देखिए, आज का पेपर ओवरऑल थोड़ा सा सिंपलर साइड पे बोला जा सकेगा। देखो, 21 क्वेश्चंस एज पर मी आर इजी, 21 आर मीडियम एंड 3 वर टफ। क्वेश्चन नंबर 10th में जो आंसर गिवन है उसको भी जस्टिफाई कर सकते हैं, दूसरे को भी कर सकते हैं, क्योंकि इसी के अंदर जो फेस डिफरेंस का कन्वेंशन है, कोई एक्सी माइनस एक्सएल बाय आर बोलता है, कोई एक्सएल माइनस एक्सी बाय आर बोलता है। और 38 क्वेश्चन में आंसर जो गिवन है वो गलत है, ऑप्शन सही अवेलेबल है वहाँ पे, बट उन्होंने जो दिया दैट्स रॉन्ग. So this was the today's paper analysis. Looking at this paper, I should say for an average student, a good score in this paper, if I do this, it should be 130 plus. It should be 130 plus at least. And for a very good scores, again for very good scores, it should be 160 plus. Because there are not enough questions which will test you. Even the questions which I have written as tough or medium to tough, they are generally those questions which you do in your notes in coaching material. You must have done all the questions. There is nothing in the paper which is a very newer one, so it's a comfortable paper for the student who has prepared really well. So let's begin. Hello friends, चलिए आज का टेस्ट 53 शुरू करते हैं एनटीए नीट. देखते हैं पहला क्वेश्चन क्या है. The ratio of the maximum wavelength of the Lyman series in the hydrogen spectrum to the maximum wavelength in the Paschen series. Okay, so maximum wavelength in the Lyman series. Lyman series you means the electron returning from a higher orbit to n equal to 1. So maximum corresponds to n equal to 2 to n equal to 1. Similarly for Paschen series, Paschen means Lyman, Balmer, and then we have that Lyman, Balmer and Paschen. So Paschen means this is maximum would be n equal to 4 to 3. So what we'll have, we will have hc upon lambda Lyman max from our formulas, that is 13.6 z square, that is hydrogen, 1 upon 1 square minus 1 upon 2 square. Similarly we'll have hc upon lambda for Paschen series, maximum will correspond to transition from 4 to 3, that is 1 by 3 square minus 1 by 4 square. So if I divided, what I will get, Lyman Paschen max to Lyman max lambda, that would be 13.6 cancelled. This is 1 by 1 minus 1 by 4 would be 3 by 4. Here what I will have, 1 by 9 minus 1 by 16. So this is 3 by 4, 16 and 9, that is 144, that is 7. So what we'll have, 3 into 144 upon 7 into 4. So doing this, this will we'll get a 36. So 36 into 3, that is 108 by 7. So we have to ask the reverse ratio of that. So that is 7 by 108. That is option D. So it's a regular one. Just you have to just simply put the values. You should remember what is the maximum wavelength of a particular series. Now going ahead. Electron jumps from 4 to 1, the momentum of the recoiled atom. So it jumps from 4. Now energy of the photon in this case would be equal to E4 minus E1, and the fourth one you directly remember the value, minus 0.85 eV. This minus minus will become plus 13.6 and this would be in eV. So if I do this, this comes out as 12.75 eV. Now since the original momentum was 0, we assume that the final one will also be 0. So the momentum carried by a photon, which is EP by C, would be equals to m times V, that is V recoil I can write. So what is the V recoil? It would be 12.75 converted into 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. And for this, if we write this value of C is 3 into 10 to the power 8, and that divided by the mass that we have. Okay, we have to calculate momentum only. Okay, so we need not to calculate this V recoil, we have to direct MVR, which is more easy. So this is what we have to calculate, and I have converted into the SI unit divided by C, that is 3 into 10 to the power 8. So what we'll have, we'll approximately have this as 4.25 into 1.6. So 1.6 into 5, that is basically 16 5s are 80, 16 2s are 32 and 8 40, 16 4s are 64, 68. So it comes out as 6.8 into, if I do this, 10 to the power minus 27 kg meter per second. So go for option A. So we just simply have to calculate the momentum only, which was easier. Similar question before, we had to calculate the recoil velocity in the two tests before. Now next one, block A is hanging from a vertical spring and is at rest. Block B strikes the block A with velocity V and sticks to it. Then the value of V for which the spring just attains natural length. So initially the block A was at rest, that means the initial extension in the spring was equals to mg by k. Now the value of which v for which the spring just attained natural length, that means at natural length again the velocity of the system should become 0. So first of all, what we have is sticks to it. So because it is a perfectly inelastic collision, I can directly say it will become a combined block of 2m, and for momentum conservation I can directly say its speed would be v by 2. Now we need to get it up by distance x0. So what we applying this 2 plus spring plus earth as a system, I can write delta k plus delta ug plus delta u spring equals to 0. So delta k would be loss minus half, mass is 2m, and this is v by 2 ka whole square. Delta ug, it would be again 2mg h would be x0, plus delta u spring, that would be again a loss, minus half k x0 square would be equal to 0. So doing this calculation, what we will have, this 2 and 2 get cancelled, minus mv square by 4 plus 2mg x0, I will put it as mg by k, plus half k x0 square, that is again mg by k whole square. It is minus sign, not plus, because spring energy will lose, it is coming into natural length. So taking this all, what we will have, this becomes 2m square g square by k minus m square g square by 2k, that is equal to mv square by 4. So what I have, mm and m I get cancelled, 3 by 2 mg square by k equals to v square by 4. So what we have to find the value of v comes out now as root 6 mg square by k. That is what I am getting, root 6 mg square by k. Option B should be the answer as per me. Yes, it is given B also. Now next, go ahead. A bar of mass m, length L, is hanging from a point A as shown in the figure. If the Young's modulus of the elasticity is y and the area of cross section is a, then the increase in the length due to its own weight. We directly remember this, self elongation delta L is equal to mgl upon 2ay. I am always ask my student to directly remember this result, no point in deriving it. Though you can derive, I am telling you the way. You just go at a distance y from here, take an element dy. For this dy, calculate the tension, that will come out as m by l into y, because that is the mass of the hanging part. Total L length has mass m, so m by l into y into g. So for this small dy length, assume dl be the extension, so dl would be t L by ay, that is t dy upon ay, put it as mg y l y dy upon ayl, and now integrate it from 0 to L, you will get the same result that I have got above. So just remember it. I ask my students always to just take it as a fact, because it will save time. Now the magnitude of resistance X in the circuit shown in the given figure when no current flows through the 5 ohm resistor. Okay, no current flows through it, that means the bridge has to be balanced. So you can directly say x upon 2 should be equal to 18 upon 6. So x should be equal to 18 by 6 into 2, that is 3 2s are 6 ohm. This is an easy one, everyone can recall when the current doesn't flows. So it's a very easy question. Next, here what we have is the extension in both the spring increases from x to x0, okay, on flowing current I in the rod, okay, from B to A, then the value of the magnetic field. So initially when no magnetic field force was there, so I can write, because they are in parallel, effective constant will become 2k. So 2kx was equals to mg. This is the first thing. Now extension increases, that means the current should be flowing like this. So the force is now downwards. So in the new condition, what I have, mg plus that bil, that would be equals to 2k x0. That is what I have. So now, because all options are given in terms of mg and I want to find the value of b, so just writing it, this bil would be equals to 2k x0. So that is 2k, I should write 2k as mg by x from above into x0 minus mg. So the value of the b should be mg, taking a common, it becomes x0 by x minus 1 upon il. That is what I am getting from this. So as per this, the option that I am having, it is C, it is the D option, because I couldn't get the screenshot. It is given as mgil x0 minus x by x, which is the same thing. So go for option D here. Now next one, a region of a uniform electric field of intensity E, an electron of mass me is released from rest. Okay, the distance traveled by electron in time t. So because it is released from rest, so acceleration would be q e by m, because it is in a field and initial speed is 0, acceleration is going to remain constant, so I can directly write the displacement is ut plus half at square. Our equation of motion for uniformly accelerated motion, it becomes half q e by m into t square. So it's a easy one, not a tough one, and q is e, you all know, so this comes out as option B. A step down transformer again from AC is used on a 1000 volt line to deliver 20 ampere at 120 volt at the secondary coil. If the efficiency is 80%, the current drawn from the line. Okay, so what I can say, because efficiency is 80%, I will write IS into VS is 0.8 into IP into VP. Now, step down transformer used on a 1000 volt line, so it is 0.8 IP. I need to calculate. VP is given as 1000 to deliver 20 ampere. This is secondary at 120. So what is IP? 20 into 120 upon 0.8 into 1000. So let's cancel that 2 zeros. This becomes 8. So 12 2s are 24 by 8. It comes out as 3 ampere. So easily you can do this. This is option A, regular question from transformer. Next, the ratio of the temperature of sun and moon if the wavelength of their maximum extension emission radiation. So again, the Wien's law application, I can directly write lambda maximum of sun of T sun is lambda moon into T moon. So which the ratio? So Ts by T moon, that is lambda m. Lambda m is what? 4200 upon 140. So basically what we get, this is the ratio, comes out as 30:1. So this is option B, again an easy one, regular one from the Wien's law. Regularly you are getting questions from this. Now see the next one. The phase difference between voltage and current in an AC circuit containing a resistor and inductor in series is phi1. When the inductor is replaced by a capacitor, the phase difference is phi2. When all three are element will be. Okay, so first of all, let me have 10 phi1. 10 phi1 magnitude would be equal to XL by R, though I know it is a negative sense because inductance basically makes a current to lag behind. So what I can say, XL is equal to R times 10 phi1. XC similarly would be equals to R times 10 phi2. So when I have to calculate the 10 phi, when both are connected, the result is XC minus XL by R. So what I will have, R common, this R and R get cancelled, this become 10 phi2 minus 10 phi1. So what we will have, 10 inverse 10 phi2 minus 10 phi1, that is what we are going to write now. Now here if I see the answer given as A, because I can justify A and B both, because in NCERT we use this convention, while in some books they use the convention XL minus XC by R. It depends whether you take current to be leading or the voltage to be leading. So going by NCERT, I will go for option B, not for A, though A can also be justified because nothing is mentioned, but I'm sticking to the NCERT convention. Now OABC is a current carrying square loop. An electron is projected from the center of the loop along the diagonal AC as shown. The unit vector in the direction of initial acceleration is okay. So first of all, because it is a current carrying loop, first of all, because of OA, I can see the field is inwards due to all is inwards. So field is like this. So field is like this, and plus what we have, this is an electron. Okay, this is also important. So this is the direction of V. B is inward. So if I do that V cross B, it comes towards B. This is V cross B, but because it is an electron, negative charge, its acceleration will not be towards B, it will be towards O. So that means this vector is pointing towards third quadrant. So both will be negative. I cap component will also be negative, and the J cap component will also be negative 45 degree. So I can directly write it as minus cos 45 I cap minus sine 45 J cap. That is going to be the unit vector in the direction, which is minus 1 by root 2 I cap minus 1 by root 2 J cap. So I'll go for option B. So just remember, it's electron. If it was of proton, the answer would have become D. Now, two projectiles thrown from the same point at angle 60 and 30, that means both will have the same range. Okay, no, attain the same height, that means the speeds are different. Okay, the ratio of their initial velocities is, so what we know, height is u square sine square theta by 2g. So because h is same, that means u1 square sine square 60 would be equal to u2 square sine square 30. So u1 square upon u2 square is sine square 30, which is 1 by 4. This is 3 by 4, that is 1 by 3. So u1 is to u2 is what we have, u1 is to u2 is 1 is to root 3. So I'll go for option D. So again, it's a regular one, basic question from your projectile. Next, Acceleration due to gravity at a height 1 by 20th of the radius of Earth above the Earth's surface is this. Its value at a point at an equal distance below the surface of the Earth in meter per second square is okay. So above the surface 1 by 20, it's not that negligible. So I will say this is 9 meter per second square. It is equal to g at surface into what I should write. The formula that we have is r square upon r square plus h square. H square is what we have, r plus h ka whole square basically. So it is r upon r plus h. This is r plus r by 20, that is 21 r by 20 ka whole square, that is 41 by what, sorry, not 41, it should be 400 by 441 gs, that is 9. This is the first one. Now its value at an equal distance below. So below the distance, what we say, gs 1 minus d by r, that is the formula we use. So gs 1 minus d by r. D is what, 1 by 20, 1 by 20 of r, so this would be 1 by 20, so it would be 19 gs by 20. So this is the value of the g required that we are doing. So taking the ratio of the both the sides, g by 9 would be, this is 19 by 20, this is 400 by 441, so 19 into 441 upon 20 into 400. So the value of the g is 9 into 19 into 441 upon 20 into 400. So if I do this, now it would be somewhat not that easy to do, but let me do it. This would be 1.1 I suppose, and this would be what I say, 0.95. So what I have, 1.1 into 0.95 sort of thing that I am getting here. So doing it in my mind, 1.1 into 0.95, it is 1.045, and if I multiply it by 9, it comes approximately as 9.405, though it is slightly greater than 1.1. So I will go for the nearest one, that is 9.5. So I'll go for the answer 9.5 meter per second square. That is what I have done with the exact formula above the height. In the explanation they have used that approximated version, that still can be used because it is 1 by 20th, but I was trying to be safe, so no issue, the result still comes to the same. Okay, the next one, a radioactive sample at any instant has a disintegration rate of 5,000 disintegration per minute. After 5 minutes the rate is this. Just looking at it, I can see it is 1/4. So it has become 1/4 in 5 minutes. That means the t half everyone can make out, it is 2.5 minutes. And then the decay constant, we know t half is ln2 by lambda. So lambda is ln2 by t half. That is 0.693. 2.5 minutes, you know, is 150 seconds. Okay, you have to give in terms of ln2 only. Why I'm doing this? And just write it as 1 upon in minute. Okay, so 1 upon 2.5 ln2, 1 upon 2.5 you all know is equal to 0.4 ln2. So go for option A. So it's an easy one. The question is more simplified in terms of options. Next, the wavelength lambda max is 5.5 into 10 to the power minus 7 when the temperature of the furnace has lambda equal to this. So again the same Wien's law, second question in the paper, so it is not a balanced one. We don't expect two questions of Wien's law in the same paper. So again going by the same concept, lambda m of sun to T of sun to lambda m of furnace to T of is equal to T of furnace. So T of furnace would be 5.5 into 10 to the power minus 7 into 5500 upon 11 into 10 to the power minus 7. So it would be half of that, that is 2750 Kelvin. Go for option D, again an easy one. You can directly make out lambda is double, so temperature would be half. So no issue in solving such a question. Next, go ahead. Now this is the photoelectric effect question. I can see variation of the current with collector potential for different frequencies is as shown. Okay, so you can clearly make out the stopping potential is maximum for this. So nu3 is greater than nu2 is greater than nu1. This is perhaps the most easy one from the photoelectric effect you can get. That's just tick and move. An ideal gas is at temperature T and V. Its volume is increased by delta V due to a change in temperature delta T. Pressure is constant. The quantity delta V by V into delta T would be. Okay. So this quantity, what is this quantity? 1 upon delta T into delta V by V. That is what I need to calculate. Because pressure is constant and it is an ideal gas, I can directly say P delta V would be equals to NR delta T. So what I have, delta V by delta T, I can substitute as it NR by P. So putting it that, so this is NR P and this is V. So NR by PV, we know PV equal to NRT, that is 1 by T. This is a very general question asked even many times before. Even in JE this question has come in different language. Go for option C, move ahead. A gas can be taken from A to B via two different paths, okay, via C and via D. For the path ACB, this one. For the path ACB, wait a minute, is used 60 joule of heat flows. So this is Q is comes out as 60 plus, and 30 joule of work is also plus 30 joules. Okay, so this is the first path, so I can say delta U is 30 joules. So second path also I can say delta U is 30 joules because it is path independent, and work done is 10 joule, so I can directly make out Q would be equals to 40 joules. So again, it's a very easy question based on your first law of thermodynamics. Go ahead. A truck of mass 10 metric tons runs at 3 meter per second along a level track and collides with a loaded truck of mass 20 metric tons standing at rest. If the trucks coupled together, the common speed, so it's a perfectly elastic collision. Take it as m, this will become 2m. So what I have, m into u plus 2m was at rest, that would be equal to 3m into combined v. So v comes out as u by 3. U by 3 means 1 meter per second. So again, it is a very easy question for you. Go ahead. A thin flexible wire of length L is connected to two adjacent fixed points and carries a current I in the clockwise direction. When the system is put in a uniform field of strength B going into the plane of the paper, the wire takes the shape of a circle. Yes, the tension is. So you all must have done this particular question. What would be the tension in the wire in that particular case? So if I draw this, it will almost become a circle. Okay, let me draw it proper. I have that circle option here. So let's say it becomes a circle. Now take any small section, putting an angle delta theta here, divide it into two parts. I can see the tensions will be like this, because if the current is going like this, B is inside, so L cross B I do, the force of the magnetic field is upwards, so tension will be like this. And if I do from symmetry, this would be theta by 2, delta theta by 2, this will also be delta theta by 2, this is T and T. So the components 2T sine delta theta by 2 should balance the force due to the magnetic field, which is BIL. And if for the L, I can write it as R delta theta. So this delta theta, because theta is very small, I have taken a very small section, I can write it as delta theta by 2, that is BIR delta theta. Delta theta and delta theta get cancelled, 2 and 2 get cancelled, T is equal to BIR. And what is R? If I do the R is L by 2 pi, because 2 pi R is equal to L. So again, it's a regular one for you. You can directly make out. Most of you must be remembering the answer also. 21st. 1 mole of an ideal gas expands adiabatically such that T is proportional to 1 by root V. Again, what I say, it is the adiabatic process is given. So for adiabatic process, we know Tv to the power gamma minus 1 is constant. So here Tv to the power half is constant. Just looking at it, you know gamma is 1.5. So again, an easy one. You have done such questions. Going ahead, a cylindrical conductor diameter 0.1 mm carries a current of 90 milliampere current density. So current density, you know, J is I upon A. I is 90 into 10 to the power minus 3. Area is pi into d square by 4. D square is what we have, 0.1 mm. 10 to the power minus 4 square, 10 to the power minus 8 upon 4. That is 4 will go up. You have to take pi as 3 as per the question. So this becomes 30. 30 into 4 becomes 120 into 10 to the power. What we have? 5. 120 into 10 to the power 5, or 1.2 into 10 to the power 7 ampere per meter square. Option A is the correct one. Now, in an AC circuit, the current is 3 ampere, voltage 210 volt, and power is 63. The power factor, what we have, power is VRMS, IRMS, cos phi. I am taking, nothing is written, so I am taking it on the face value as IRMS value. So the cos phi is going to be, that is the power factor, 63 upon 3 into 210. This is in table of 7, 9. This is 30. So this is 3, this is 1 by 10. So cos phi is 1 by 10, that is 0.1. So go for option D. Again, not a tough one. The upper half of an inclined plane is perfectly smooth while lower half is rough. A body starting from rest at the bottom, if it comes to rest again at the bottom with the coefficient of friction for the lower half. Again, this is a very general question seen in the notes of all the institutes, all books. This half smooth, this half rough. It starts from rest, ends on rest. So I can do by many methods. I go by energy analysis. Let's say A to B. If I take from A to B, block plus earth as my system, so friction acts in some of the parts, so I will say W friction is delta Ug plus delta K. delta k is 0 because initial final both speeds are 0. Delta ug is minus mg, and let's say if I write it theta and let's say write the length as L, so that would be L sine theta. Now what is the work done of friction? That is minus Fk. It works for L by 2 distance, and Fk you know is mu k, and n here is equal to mg cos theta into L by 2 is equal to minus mgl sine theta. So this mgl goes, minus goes. So what now we have tan theta is equals to, or mu is equals to, better right, mu k is equals to 2 tan theta. So that is what we have, mu k is equals to 2 tan theta. So it's a very standard question. So this is option D. Now you can do from that applying third equation of motion for two times for two halves, but I have done by energy one. Now the potential energy for a conservative system is this much. A and B are positive constant. The law of the force governing the system, you know, force is minus du by dx. You know all this. So minus d by dx of u is ax square minus bx. So this is 2ax minus b, so that becomes minus 2ax plus b. So what we have, this is the option C. So it's again an easy one, direct application. Starting with a sample of pure 66 copper, 7 by 8 decays to zinc in 15 minutes. 7 by 8 decays, that means 1 by 8 remains, that is 3 at t half, so t half becomes 5 minutes. That's okay? Okay, question is solved. Okay, so it's actually a very easy one for you. So t half is 5 minutes. Go ahead. The ends of the rod of length L and mass m are attached to two identical springs. Okay, it is free to rotate about center O. The rod is slightly depressed at the end A and release. The time period of the oscillation is, again, you must have done something like this. So it is slightly displaced. Let's say it displays like this. So what we have, it is slightly displaced. Let's say I say it is moves down by a small angle theta, so it goes up by angle theta. So if I say this extension compression, both would be, the value of that x compression would be equal to L by 2 sine theta. I can write it as L by 2 theta because I am taking theta to be very, very small. So that is the force which will be acting. So if I draw the diagram, this is the force from the lower spring, this is the force from the upper spring. Both are equal, and it is basically forming a couple. It is forming a couple, and the gap between them, this gap, if I should write, it should be equal to, it's better, it should be L cos theta, and because theta is very small, I can approximately write it to be L. So torque is F into L. F is what? Kx is KL by 2 theta into L, and because it is restoring, it would be negative, because you know the force sense is opposite to the angle that I have moved. Now, so tau is this, so tau is what? Minus KL square by 2 into theta. That is what I've got. And now this tau is I alpha. I, you know about that axis, ml square by 12 into alpha is minus KL square by 2 into theta. L square get cancelled, alpha get, what I get as alpha is minus 6k by m into theta. So omega comes out as root 6k by m. That is what I am getting. So omega is the root of 6k by. So what we are asked time period. Time period is 2 pi under root of m by 6k. So if I do this, as per the option, this will come out as, if I take this will become 4. So this is 3. This will become 2m by 3k. So go for option C. So this is a good question, but you must have done such a question, so you can do it. Next, pendulum has maximum kinetic energy k1 if its length is doubled keeping amplitude same, then maximum kinetic energy becomes k2. Now this is again another repetitive question that we are getting. So doing this, the k max I can say is half m omega square a square, and here the omega square will become g by l and a will become l theta. So l theta square. So what we have, half mg l theta square. So assuming amplitude remains same, angular amplitude, that theta max I should write. So if this theta max remains same, k max is proportional to l. So now if length is doubled, kinetic energy will double. So k2 is going to be double of k1. Same question came sometime before. I told you then also, here amplitude means angular amplitude, not the linear amplitude, otherwise the answer will be different. Now, a photocell is illuminated by a small bright source placed 1 meter away. When the same source is placed half meter away, the number of electrons emitted by a photocathode will be. Here what we see, If the distance is half, the intensity will become 4 because it is 1 by r square. So 4 times more electrons are striking to the photons are striking, sorry, so probability of electrons also increases in the same proportion, so it should increase by a factor of 4. Now the magnitude of x and y components of a vector are 7 and 6. Okay, also the magnitude of xy components of their sum are 11 and 9, then the value of 9. So what we know, ax plus bx is given basically is 11 and ax is 7, that means bx is 4. Similarly, what you are given, ay plus by is 9 and this is 6, that means by is 3. So 4 and 3, so magnitude of b you know is 5, not the root 5, that is 5 under root 4 square plus 3 square. I can directly say that would be equal to 5, so an easy one. Next one, if the work done in blowing a bubble of volume V is W, then the work done in blowing a bubble of volume 2V from the same soap solution is. So what we can do here, so because the volume is doubled, volume doubled means you need to calculate what is the area change, or what you can say what is the radius. So we know volume is proportional to r cube, so if it is doubled, so first one is r naught, the second will become 2 to the power 1 by 3 times r naught. So first area was a naught, second will become 2 to the power 2 by 3 times a naught, that I can say because it is 2 square, and we know the work done would be, let's say, s delta a, so that would be proportional to that what the area is. So w upon w dash would be a naught upon 2 to the power 2 by 3 a naught, so w dash would be 2 to the power 2 by 3 into w. So looking at the option, if you are getting any option, yes, this will be like this, because 2 square is 4, so 4 ka 1/3, that is a 1 by 3 power 4 into w. So you can do this. Now a ball is projected from a certain point on the surface of a planet at certain angle with the horizontal surface. The horizontal and vertical displacements are like maximum height is okay. So if I check it from our standard case, I can make out ux is 10 root 3, and for the y I need to do something else, because y is given as 10t minus t square. Okay, so the planet is different. Okay, so uy comes out as 10 and the value of the g on the planet from here comes out as 2 because half gt square. So the maximum height I should write maximum height, what is the formula, uy square by 2g. So uy square is 100, 2g is 4, so this comes out as 25 meters. So this is again D, again second question from projectile in this particular chapter test. Now a body of 8 kg is suspended through 2 light springs connected in series. The reading in x and y will be, because both are in series, tension will be same, so both will be reading 8. So it's a easy one for you. You must have done such question. Go ahead. The two surfaces of biconvex lens have same radii, that is equiconvex. The lens is made of glass 1.5 as a focal length 10. The lens is cut into 2 halves having a plane perpendicular to its principal axis to yield 2 plano-convex lenses. So focal length will get doubled. We know from our knowledges are glued such that the convex surfaces touch each other. Okay, if the combination lens is now immersed in water, the focal length in centimeter is. Here I am doing the question based on what generally students remember. The first thing, whenever you cut this equiconvex lens into these two parts, if original was f naught, so original was f of this one single part, this part would be 2f, so both will be having 2f. Now you have put it into contact, so 1 upon f equivalent would be 1 upon 2f plus 1 upon 2f, so that again comes out as 1 by f. So f equivalent is f if you have again glued them. But now you have put them in water, and you remember for a glass lens of refractive index 1.5, if you put it in water, the equivalent focal length in water would be 4 times of the focal length in air. So this was in air, so this will become 4f. So 4f means f was 10, that is 40 centimeter. So if you recall that results, it's an easy one. Otherwise you have to solve by the way we do this. 1 by f is n of lens upon n of medium minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2. So I'm skipping that because this fact is known. Everyone knows with the glass lens, glass having 3 by 2 submerged in water, the focal length becomes 4 times. Now next one, the displacement of an object attached to a spring and executing SHM is this, the time at which the maximum speed first occurs. Now first of all, look at it as sine or cos. It is cos. It means it starts from x equal to plus a. Now maximum speed comes at x equal to 0. So from plus a to 0, the time taken is t by 4. First of all, what is omega here? Omega is pi. Time period is 2 pi by omega, that is 2 seconds. So our required period 2 by 5 would be 2 by 4, that is 0.5 seconds. Go for option D, there's no issue in it. Now, sphere of mass m and radius r is released from the top of an incline of theta, the minimum coefficient of friction between the plane and the sphere, so that it rolls down the plane without sliding it. This is the same question we have done perhaps yesterday or day before yesterday, and I remember this result 2 by 7 tan theta. Again, let's say start doing, because it is given. So if it is going down, I know the friction acts up, so the friction would be providing the necessary torque for that. So if for the necessary torque, Fk into r would be equal to I about center, that is 2 by 5 mr square into alpha. So alpha comes out as not Fk, sorry, I should write it as Fs, because you know it is rolling without slipping, so it is not Fk, it is Fs. So what we have, alpha v comes out as, alpha is the value of the alpha. If I can make out, the alpha comes out as 5 fs upon 2 mr. Okay, now if I do the linear one, so if for the linear one, what I get, mg sin theta minus fs must be equals to ma. Ma is alpha r, that is 5 fs upon 2m. That is what I am getting. So what I have this m and m get cancelled. So what I have, 7 fs by 2 is mg sin theta, and what is so fs comes out as 2 by 7 mg sin theta, and we know this should be less than equal to mu s n. N is mg cos theta, so mu s should be greater than equal to 2 by 7 tan theta. That is what we get. Okay, next. Again, this is semiconductors circuit realization of logic gates. I can make out. In the circuit below, A and B represents two inputs, C represents output, the circuit represents. Now, the way to do such question, just remember, if no current flows, this is 0, this will remain 0. So this C will become 1, or it will have a potential only when current flows. So for current to flow in this, either from there or from there, so both, anyone can help, that means it should be or nor. And for the current to flow, this should be forward bias, so it should be 1. So if any of the input is 1, the current will flow and we'll get a higher output at C. So any one will give 1, that means that will give me the OR gate. So this is the circuit realization of the OR gate. Now going ahead. A ray traveling in the direction, okay, is incident on a plane mirror. After reflection, the ray travels along the direction this much, the angle of incidence is. So just looking at the idea, this component remains unchanged. That means the surface is along x-axis and the component along y has reversed. So what is the angle of incidence now? So because it is x-axis, angle of incidence means angle with the normal. So if I take the angle with the horizontal, let's call it phi. So tan phi is equal to root 3, that is phi is 60 degree, but incidence angle is measured with the normal, so it is not 60, it would be 30 degrees. The answer given is wrong, and the explanation is also wrong in your app. It is given deviation is 180 minus I, it is not, it is 180 minus 2I. So it's given wrong here, so answer should be 30 degrees. Now going ahead, a force F is equal to alpha I cap plus 3j cap plus 6k cap is acting, okay, at a point this, the value of alpha for angular momentum about origin is conserved. Okay, so angular momentum about origin is conserved, that means the torque must be 0. Torque must be 0, that means R cross F is 0, that means R should be parallel to F or R should be anti-parallel to F, any one of the case. So looking at it, it cannot be parallel, it should be anti-parallel. The ratio must be same. We know for the two vectors cross product to be 0, ax by bx equal to ay by by equal to az by bz. So doing that, alpha by 2 should be equal to 3 by minus 6 is equal to 6 by minus 12. So it's now an easy one for you. Alpha comes out as minus 1, so go for the option D, nothing special in it. Next one, which of the following have the same dimension? Force and strain, no strain is dimensionless. Force and stress, no stress is pressure. Angular velocity and frequency, yes, they will have the same dimensions, because a radian is not included in that dimension thing. Okay, that is radian per second, that is per second, dimensionally both are same. Now pressure of ideal gas is increased by keeping temperature constant. So temperature is constant, pressure is increased, that means the volume is going to decrease. What is the effect on kinetic energy? Kinetic energy depends only on the temperature, so it will not change. A resistor of 10 kilo ohm having tolerance 10% connected in a series with another of 20 kilo ohm having tolerance 20%, the tolerance of the combination will be approximately, okay. Now Generally 20% tolerance should not be given, but ठीक है, we cannot do anything now because they are in series. What I know, R series is R1 plus R2. So if there's a variation, I can say the variation in the total combo is delta R1 plus delta R2. So if I see the combination variation 10 kilo ohm, 10%, that means 1 kilo ohm. 20% of 20 kilo ohm, that is 4 kilo ohm. So the total variation is 5 kilo ohm. And from the data I can take this is 30 kilo ohm. So the tolerance would be 5 upon 30 into 100%. So what I get 50 by 3, approximately 16.67 or 17% tolerance we will get. Now 43rd, the fundamental frequency of a sonometer wire is N if the length and diameter of the wire are doubled, keeping tension same. The new fundamental frequency. Now fundamental frequency is V by 2L. V what we have, root T by mu. Mu we write as rho into pi r square, rho into A, and this is 2L. Okay, so the F depends on, take everything in root r, or remove it because tension is same. First of all, let me write root T upon, I should write it as RL. Now length is doubled and diameter is doubled, both are doubled, so this back factor become 4 times, so F will become 1 by 4. So going by the data, tension is same, so this is N by 4. Now a tuning fork of frequency 200 Hz is in unison, that means same frequency with a wire. Tension is increased by 1% without any change in length. Find the number of beats heard in 9 seconds. Okay, number of beats in 9 seconds. First of all, calculate the beat frequency. If it is increased by 1%, again what we did, F proportional to V for the wire, proportional to root T. The small changes, delta F by F is a half times delta T by T. This is 1%, so this is 0.5%. So change in frequency is 0.5 by 100 into 200, which comes out as 1 Hertz. So the change in the frequency is of 1 Hertz, so the beat frequency will also be 1, because 200 and 199 or 201, whatever it is, changes of 1. So 1 beat per second, so in 9 seconds 9 beats are going to be heard. So it is again not a tough one. Work done by static friction on an object may be positive, must be negative, must be zero, none of these. Whenever you get option like must and may, you should be very careful. Generally we in a rolling we say the static friction work is 0, but here it is given on an object. May be positive, must be negative, must be zero. Must be negative is ruled out, must be zero, and may be positive I need to check. So just think of such an example. Let's say we have a block and we have another block placed over it, and if I push it by force F, let's assume this is a smooth, and let's say there's some friction between these two. So if I pull it with a slight force, what I will see, both will go together. So now this block is also getting kinetic energy, gaining kinetic energy, and we know this gain of kinetic energy is not directly through F, though F is indirectly responsible. But here if you draw the FBDs, you know this is F, Fs acts here and Fs acts here. So for this it is doing positive work, for this it is doing negative work. For a complete system, combined system, the work will be 0, but in an object it may be positive, it may be negative, and if it didn't move it may be 0. So option A is the most appropriate because we will go for this particular case. So that was for today. Keep sharing this channel, keep giving your feedback. Thank you.